Okay, let's talk about a technology that's, well, it's not just thinking anymore, it's creating. We're diving into generative AI, a tool that doesn't just process what's already there. It literally makes brand new stuff from scratch. It's a total creativity machine. Let's get into it. So, to really wrap our heads around this, let's start with a really specific question. Think about this. Could a computer, right now, create a totally new human voice? I'm talking completely from scratch. Let's say the voice of a young boy, a voice that has never, ever existed. Is that even possible? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack. All right, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about this new creativity machine. Then we'll look at how it goes from data to creating that voice. We'll check out the AI toolkit, see its real-world impact, cover the risks and downsides, and wrap up with how to use AI the right way. Okay, let's jump right in. Section 1, the new creativity machine. So, what is generative AI? Well, at its heart, it's a kind of AI that doesn't just crunch numbers or sort data, it makes stuff. You feed it some instructions, and bam, it can spit out a brand new image, a piece of music, a story, you name it. It's not just a calculator, it's more like a creative partner. And yeah, this is exactly the tech we need to build that voice we were talking about, the one that's never been heard before. Okay, so how in the world does a machine learn to create something as complex as a human voice? Well, it all comes down to how it learns, and that journey starts with a mountain of data. There are really two main ways these AIs learn. On one hand, you've got supervised learning. Think of it like a toddler learning with flashcards. A human is sitting there saying, this is a cat, this is a dog, and the AI learns to tell them apart. It's great for sorting things, but to create something new, like our boy's voice, you need something else. You need unsupervised learning. Now, this is totally different. This is like leaving a genius in a library with no instructions. The AI gets a massive, unlabeled pile of data, maybe thousands of hours of human speech, and it has to figure out the patterns, the rules, the structure, all on its own. That's where the magic of creation really happens. Right. So for our boy voice project, just classifying sounds won't cut it. The AI has to dream up completely nuance. And to do that, it uses some really clever tools called generative models. Let's take a look at the big three. First up, we've got something called GANs. That stands for Generative Adversarial Networks. And the idea here is just brilliant. It's basically two AIs locked in a battle. You have a generator, which you can think of as an art forger, trying its best to create a fake masterpiece. And then you have a discriminator, which is like the expert art critic, trying to spot the fake. The forger makes a fake, the critic calls it out. The forger tries again, getting better. The critic gets better at spotting fakes. They go back and forth millions of times until the generator gets so good that the critic can't tell the difference anymore. That constant competition is what pushes the AI to create things that are unbelievably realistic. Then you've got VAEs, or variational autoencoders. Now, these work a little differently. They're less about competition and more about, well, understanding the soul of the data. A VAE looks at, say, 1,000 different voices and learns the fundamental recipe for what makes a voice sound human: the pitch, the tone, the rhythm. Once it understands that recipe, it can start cooking out its own new variations that still sound totally authentic. And last but not least, there are RNNs, recurrent neural networks. Now, these are the real specialists when it comes to our voice project. Why? Because RNNs are absolute masters of sequence. They're built to understand things that happen in a specific order, like words in a sentence, or notes in a melody, or the sounds that make up speech. An RNN listens to the sound that just happened and uses that to predict the sound that should come next. That's what makes them perfect for generating speech that flows naturally. So we've seen the how. Now let's look at the actual toolkit. And it's super important to understand that what we're talking about here, generative AI, is a completely different beast from the conventional AI that you might already know. Yeah, this table really nails the difference. Think of conventional AI as the analyst. It's really good at processing, classifying, and following a set of rules. You see it in banking, fraud detection, that kind of thing. The output is predictable. But generative AI, that's the artist. It's not analyzing, it's creating. It comes up with fresh, innovative, and sometimes totally surprising things. It's a true game changer for anyone in a creative field: art, music, you name it. And this isn't some far-off future tech. These tools are everywhere, right now. I mean, you've probably heard of ChatGPT for writing text or Gemini for all sorts of things. But look at a tool like Murph. Its entire job is to create new AI voices. So that idea of generating a boy's voice from scratch, it's not science fiction anymore. It's something you can literally go and do right now. So, with tools like this out in the wild, what's the real-world impact? Well, it's huge, and it's happening fast. I mean, look at the benefits here. We're talking about everything from writing articles and designing graphics to spotting market trends in giant data sets. It's even being used in cybersecurity and helping scientists develop new medicines. And of course, right there in the mix, image, video, and audio creation. The power to dream up new art, new music, and yes, new voices is unlocking a whole new level of creativity. But, and this is a big but, we have to be honest and look at the other side of this. Every powerful new technology comes with risks, and generative AI is no exception. So you have to ask, right? With all this amazing power to create literally anything we can imagine, what could possibly go wrong? Well, as it turns out, a lot. That same incredible technology that could create a harmless voice for a video game, it can also be used to create a deep fake of a world leader saying something they never said. It brings up these massive issues around misinformation, data privacy, jobs being replaced, and just the basic idea of what's real and what isn't. The power to create is, unfortunately, also the power to deceive. And that brings us to maybe the most important part of this whole conversation. Now that this genie is out of the bottle, we have to figure out how to use it the right way. Luckily, the basic rules are pretty simple, but they're absolutely critical. Number 1, check your facts. Don't just blindly trust what an AI spits out. It can and does get things wrong. 2, don't use it to create harmful stuff. That should be a no-brainer. 3, be transparent. If you use an AI tool to help you create something, just say so. And 4, respect people's privacy. Don't go sharing personal info you might find. These aren't just polite suggestions. They're the essential guardrails we need. And so here we are, right back where we started. We asked if a machine could create a brand new human voice. And we found out the answer is a definite, resounding yes. But as it turns out, that wasn't the most important question. The real question is this. Now that we can create almost anything, what should we create? That's the challenge that lies ahead for all of us. Thanks for joining me.